Welcome to Tree Talking Time, where we talk all things tree dogs, from the smallest feists to the largest hounds, treating squirrels to bears and everything in between. And from time to time, we might even run a little fast game.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to thank everyone that takes the time to listen to this podcast each week. I want to thank the couple of people that have joined my Patreon. Soon I hope to start releasing bonus episodes there as well. If you've enjoyed this podcast, I ask that you find me on the different social media platforms and follow me there. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as Tree Talking Media. You can find me on Go Wild as Ben Sheets. As always, a rating and review are greatly appreciated as well. The main reason I wanted to do this intro is the first 8 minutes of this podcast there was an issue with recording, and it only recorded on the left audio channel. After the 8-minute mark, we resolved the issue for the duration of the podcast. Hope you enjoy. I'm here tonight with Terrance Bailiff. Did I say that right?
Yes.
And honestly, I've never talked to Terrance other than the other day. I got his number from Ronnie. Now, I'm going to probably butcher Ronnie's last name. It's Snedingrove? Snediger, okay. And because I was interested in treeing Tennessee Brindles, and he gave me your phone number because he said that you not only squirrel and coon hunt, which is what most people that have treeing Tennessee Brindles do, but you also run yours on bear a little bit.
Yes.
That's kind of what led me to talk to you and find out a little bit about your dogs. So how are you tonight?
Yeah. I'm good. Good. I appreciate the opportunity to have this discussion with you.
So how did you find out about treeing Tennessee Brindles?
When I was in the 5th grade, I had an elderly neighbor that had a pair, and he got to taking me squirrel hunting with him of the daytime and coon hunting some of the nighttime, and they were really good dogs.
Mm-hmm.
They were real accurate coon dogs. We didn't have a big coon population here then,
Yeah.
but they always come up with a couple coons.
Mm-hmm.
And they were real good squirrel dogs, and he was elderly, and he struggled finding the squirrels, and he loved having my 10, 11-year-old eyes to help him find the squirrels and shoot squirrels out. We had a big time.
That's awesome.
And those dogs were fantastic, and we hunted one season, and before the next season rolled around, the gentleman passed away. And I don't know what happened to the dogs. I don't know where they went, but many years went by before I ever seen another one.
Mm-hmm.
I would like it in the different hound cur dog publications. If I seen them listed litter for sale, I would reply to them, but they were always gone. And
Just
then,
luck.
yes, and then the Treeing Tennessee Brindle Association started a web page, which was real good.
Okay.
Because I was able to get in touch with the people that were breeding them.
Mm-hmm.
And my first one I got from a gentleman named Frank Burton.
Gotcha.
He's since passed, but he raised a lot of top quality dogs in his time. But he had them things forever. I'm guessing he had them 50 years.
Oh, wow.
That would be a real good guess.
Well, before I get too deep in this, can you tell me a little bit more about the dogs that you hunted with as a kid? I mean, you said they were real accurate and everything, but anything else that really caught your eye about them that made you want to keep looking at them throughout the years?
What I liked about them, and I see it in these dogs today, they were real friendly, happy dogs, good pets.
Mm-hmm.
But when you took them hunting, they were all business.
Gotcha.
And they hunted it to a way they handled great.
Mm-hmm.
And, we hunted smaller patches back then. And, he could get those dogs back to him anytime he wanted them. Just the way that they minded him and the way they hustled. Just all of it as a kid, this impressed me a lot. I was raised with bird dogs. My father, he ran horseback shooting dog field trials and won them a lot with them, won several national championships. But I always liked hunting dogs. I didn't care, if somebody had a pack of beagles and they let me tag along as a kid, I'd go. Just
Mm-hmm. No, I understand.
watching hunting dogs work, was right up my alley. But something about those dogs, though, they made an impression because I searched for them for at least 35 years before I ever got one.
I'd say so. I mean, has to make a pretty big impression for you to search for one for that long.
Right. And, the first one I got from Frank Burton, I had real bad luck with it. It was a real natural puppy.
Mm-hmm.
I had it treeing, on drags and stuff, 3.5 months old. And it actually, would tree a hot squirrel, 3.5 months old. And I was real excited about him. And we had a hard rain come. And I didn't know it, but there was a nest of black widow spiders near my kennel.
Mm.
And the hard rain pushed those out of the ground and into my kennel.
Yep.
And all of my dogs got bit.
Oh,
my
geez.
hound, my bird dogs, they all got a little sick, but he didn't make it. He was too young.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
So that was a bad deal.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got a hold of Dr. Larry Sawyer in Oregon, and he gifted me a real nice puppy. He put it on the airplane and flew it to Knoxville, and I picked it up, and there we went. It was natural. It started. I started hunting him at 4.5 months old, just quick as I got it, and he would run and tree. He was not a stout tree dog, but he's a real good track dog.
Gotcha.
Started him on coon, and then put him on bear. He was a really good bear dog. He was the right size, like 33 pounds, and could get through that rough country, and was smart enough to stay out of trouble with the mean bear.
There you go.
Never had no.
That's
never
important.
had a vet bill with him.
Yeah.
But he was a nice dog, and he died young too. But and then after that, I did. I wanted them things too bad, and it's been my experience. Don't ever want something too bad because you'll go through a lot getting it.
Hey, Terrance, can I pause you for 1 second? Sorry to cut you off, but you're talking about the dog you got from Oregon.
Yeah, he was a nice dog. I named him Cole, and he started just instantly. The first night I took him coon hunting, he got treed by himself up a big den tree. But I actually seen the coon in the tree. And I had a big Grand Night Champion blue tick hound that I was campaigning at the time. His name was Jet 5 again, come from Ed Mead. I bought him, as just a young dog from Ed. And I ran that cold dog, the little Tennessee Treeing Brindle with him a lot, and he learned to run a track.
Yeah.
Because the old blue tick hound was solid. And, that I had a real advantage getting this dog going.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And my friends would tell me we'd be hunting, they'd say, you understand that Cole does everything Jet does. I'd say absolutely, and I'm very happy about that.
Yep.
Because he's learning to do things the right way. And he was always straight. He never was junky, none of that. But he took the bear hunting just instantly. Done a real good job about that. And, these little dogs, one thing I do like about bear hunting them is you can run them all day. And when you're leading them out, sometimes when we lead a dog out, it might take a couple hours.
Oh, yeah.
Get the truck. A whole lot of these big dogs, they're shot. They act like they want to be turned loose. These Treeing Tennessee Brindles, they just don't get tired. Yeah, with proper conditioning, that they hold up really, really good.
That's good.
But after the cold dogs, I come in with one that I got from Don Bonsett. He was almost 5 months old, and I have him now. He's a super grand squirrel champion,
Wow.
grand show dog. But
Out of curiosity, what registry did you squirrel hunt him in?
I've hunted him in UKC and NKC.
Okay.
And in NKC 1920, I think, or 19, I think he finished third in the nation.
Nice.
And their squirrel dog of the year points race.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always been a very dependable competition dog from the time he's real young. I think he was 9 months old when he won his first one.
It's impressive.
But he's the type of dog that he'd find a way to win instead of finding a way to lose, which is rare, you know. But he just make it happen somehow, some way. It's kind of like he knew what we needed to do. But
how old is he?
He is 7 now.
Okay. So how long have you had Treeing Tennessee Brindles? You said you had them or you hunted with them when you were young, and then you looked for them for a long time. So how long has it been about now?
About 10 years.
Okay.
That's just a good guess. That's pretty close though.
Mm-hmm.
About 10 years. And the first ones that I had, I didn't competition hunt them.
Mm-hmm.
But when I come in with Stud and started squirrel hunting him, I seen real quick he deserved the chance.
Yeah.
And he made good on it.
Awesome.
He done his part.
Mm-hmm.
He done a whole lot of winning. He's just a real nice dog, friendly, don't bother other dogs. Other dogs don't bother him.
Now, so you said he's made a super grand squirrel champion.
Mm-hmm.
Does he hunt kind of like a typical, competition coonhound? And even a lot of the competition squirrel dogs now are getting to where they hunt like by themselves. They want to kind of be away from everything.
He don't care.
Okay.
He's gonna go hunting, and if dogs want to pack him, he's completely satisfied.
Okay.
If they don't want to pack him, some cast I put him on, the dogs would always be by themselves, and other casts, they'd most of the time tree together.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he just always done his own thing.
Gotcha.
When you turn him loose, he's gonna go try to get treed.
Mm-hmm.
Now he hunts as hard as he has to.
See, I like that though. I don't want a dog that hunts super hard when they don't need to.
Right. If there's a squirrel within 50 yards of you, that's one he's going to treat.
Mm-hmm. But it's nice to have a dog that'll has a little bit of hunt and hustle for when the game's not moving.
Right. And if he has to, he'll go 600-700 yards to treat one.
Mm-hmm.
But he never hunts bigger than he needs to.
Gotcha. Sounds like a real nice dog.
A friend of mine that's got, world champions Feist Cool Whip, Eddie Odell, he owns the Cool Whip dog. And, we hunt together. And I started Stud with Cool Whip.
Okay.
And Cool Whip was Cool Whip's got a whole lot of age on him right now. He's still a squirrel dog.
Mm-hmm.
But when that son of a gun was from 4 to 11 or 12, he was hard to handle. Some kind of powerful dog. He would get treed and have it every time you turned him loose. But so I hunted Stud with him a lot. We would go to a particular game land down South Middle Tennessee. We call it AEDC, and it's on the Air Force Base. We'd start hunting early in the morning, and we would be treeing squirrels real close. And then when it got close to dinner time, we'd be walking 600 yards to them. And when that started happening, we'd put them on the leash and get them out of there, go get something to eat, come back, put them in front of the truck and road hunt them.
There you go.
And we treat a lot of squirrels like that.
Oh, I bet.
And then as it got, 233, we go back, just turn them loose, follow them. Mm-hmm. But we always had them in real good shape because of that road hunting.
Oh, I bet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll get them in real good shape. You always have enough dogs if you're in a competition hunt.
Yep.
If you're hunting a dog on foot 7 hours a day and road hunting too, you get to a 2-hour hunt.
Oh yeah, 2-hour hunt's nothing.
Right. But he's been fun. He started on squirrels. I sent him when I got him from Don. I bought him. They sent me a video of him trying to hang up.
Mm-hmm.
And he's extremely hard tree dog, just a real good tree dog.
Chop mouth?
But yes. And I seen that video. I said, "Is he for sale?" And they said, "Yeah." I said, "How much?" They told me the next day I had it. They live in Indiana, and John Combs was going to London, Kentucky for work the next day. I went up there and got him. Come straight home and hunted him with a little feist dog that I had.
Mm-hmm.
He went hunting good, and when he seen squirrels, he treed.
Nice.
Like the little feist would be trees.
Can't beat that.
And he'd be checking that tree out, and if the squirrel went timber, he'd go bananas.
Mm-hmm.
And tree real good. So I called Haney Hancock down in South Carolina. He's got a starting pen.
Okay.
Asked him would he, work my dog, and he told me he's real good. He said, "Yeah, bring him on." I took him down there to him, and they were busy because they had a water leak, and they showed me their pen. And, I'd hunted this dog the day before, and he hunted. But when we was walking through that pen, he just kind of walked with us. And I told Haney, I said, "Haney, I hunted this dog yesterday, and he hunted." And I said, "I know the trip down here didn't affect him because they brought me that dog halfway from Indiana, and I hauled him the other way and took him and he hunted." He said, "Don't worry about that. It's all these different smells, all these different dogs." Said, "He'll be hunting tomorrow." I said, "Okay." Well, I said, "I'll let y'all fix this water leak, and I'll get out of your way." And when I got on the interstate, the first exit, I stopped to get gas. While I was getting gas, I heard my phone ringing.
Didn't even take a day.
Oh, Haney, he said, "Did you get that video I sent you?" I said, "No, sir." I said, "You send me a video?" He's like, "Yeah, man, this joker done treed the squirrel and done it right." Said, "He's a monster tree dog." Said, "He done it right." Said, "He blew up trees in there." So I asked my boy, said, "What is that?" And he said, "It's got to be that Treeing Tennessee Brindles, because ain't nothing in that pen sounds like that." Well, they went and had a video of it. Well, he only kept him like 10 days. He called me up. It may have been a week, but he called me up and said, "Man, you need to come get this dog." And I'm like, "Well, Haney, I thought he was doing real good." He told me, he said, "He is." Said, "He's hunted now."
Mm-hmm.
He's done with his training, Pen. Said, he does it all. Said, "He's ready."
That's awesome.
So I went and got him. He told me to hunt that dog by himself till I knocked 10 squirrels out to him by himself. And he said, "Then you can hunt him any way you want to."
Mm-hmm.
But he told me, he said, "He's a competition dog and he'll win." I said, "Okay." Well, the first day I hunted him by himself, it took a whole afternoon to get him 2 squirrels. I was by myself. The squirrels that he treed wasn't cooperating.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally, tricked a couple to show themselves to my side and got them shot down. And he loved that. The next day, I knocked him 8 out. And I thought, well,
took a long time.
There's are 10,
Mm-hmm.
But I continued to hunt him by himself for like 4 or 5 more trips. And then I got to hunt him with Eddie and the Cool Whip dog. And we went on from there. And then when it come time to coon hunt him, he was 7 months old. It was like I'd had him like 2 months. And me and my buddy goes coon hunting, and we tree a coon right off the bat. And he was interested in that tree, but he wasn't sure, It's like, what are we doing? And so it's kill season. We tied the old dog's back. My buddy had a pup, and we was able to walk the coon down to the pup, and they snatched it off the side of the tree and had a real good battle.
Mm-hmm.
And the next tree we made, he blew the top out of, and
Oh,
all of
sure.
them thin. He knew what they was barking at.
Yep.
And the with the
Sometimes that's
bear
all it
track,
takes.
right, the bear track, starting him on this, first time I cut him on the hot bear track, we had a bear track, found, and, took the start dog out through there, and it was plenty hot enough to run.
Mm-hmm.
And so we cut a few hounds loose, and they're driving it, and I turned him loose, and he runs maybe 20 minutes and come out. And at this time, he's like, I don't know, 9 months old, something like that. Well, when he come out, I put him in the truck, drove around, intercepted that race, put him back in it. And he ran for 2 hours till they treed. And he was there at the tree treeing, and it was he was ready from then on.
Yeah.
The third time I turned him loose, he was the first one treed on a bear, which that really impressed me.
I bet.
Several dogs, and we turn them loose and drive across the mountain part. We're tracking them with the Garmins, and we're hearing them. And I hear him out front with that chop, because that's all he's got. He don't have a ball in him; it's just a chop.
Okay.
And he pulls up trees, and everything goes by. And my buddy said, "Your little dog's treed, ain't he?" I said, "Yeah, he's treed." And they said, "Well, he ain't right." And about one at a time, they all come back and treed with him. And he had it. And I was a proud doggone of that day.
Now, as you're getting into that, brings up a lot of questions for me. Like, so you squirrel hunt and bear hunt the same dog?
And coon hunt.
Well, I understand you coon hunt as well, but I was just, especially the squirrel, like, when you're bear hunting, I don't know, are you ever, or vice versa, when you're squirrel hunting, are you concerned your dog's going to go take off on a bear track while you're squirrel hunting, or?
He's treed one bear while we were squirrel hunting.
Okay.
One time he treed a cub while we were squirrel hunting, and we were actually squirrel hunting the bear reserve. You're not allowed to bear hunt it, but you can small game hunt it.
Okay.
And he jumped a sow and a couple cubs, and the first cub went up about 2 miles through that rough country. Well, you've been to Gatlinburg, you know what it. We were in Del Rio, but it looks just like it. It's straight up and down.
Yep.
And he ran that about 2 miles, and
Jeez.
I was able to get to him and get him off from it. But that's the only time I've had any issues with a bear when I wasn't purposely trying to run a bear.
Okay.
But now he will treat daytime coons all the time.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I know plenty of guys that squirrel hunt and coon hunt, and that happens to them. Like I said, but there's also just a big difference between treeing a coon in the daytime and running 2 miles to tree a bear.
Right. But now, when he took out after that bear, he wasn't 50 yards from it.
Mm-hmm. It just ran.
There wasn't no calling him off from it.
Yeah.
And
so
he was young.
He wasn't tracking. He was running.
He was running. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he was running. Wrecking running, you know. But as I can say that I've caught him treeing one squirrel of the night time.
Okay.
And I think it was a big fox squirrel. And he was treed by himself. None of my buddy's hounds would tree with him. And I go to him, and I'm looking. And it hadn't been dark long at all. And I find a big old fox squirrel up there.
Mm-hmm.
I just put the lead on him, padded him, took him on, I felt like, the bill's going to come due if you do these things,
Mm-hmm.
It's just part of it, but it's never been an issue to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've never gotten a jam because he's a multi-game dog.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
As high as it is keep dogs and feed dogs and all that. If you've got a dog, you can go squirrel hunting with your buddies and go win competition squirrel hunts and go coon hunting with your buddies. And
Yeah.
fire season come along, you throw that same dog in there, you get more bang for your buck.
Oh, definitely. I do a little bit of, I mainly coon hunt, and then I've got one dog I've been trying to squirrel hunt some, and then a couple other dogs that I go down south and I bear hunt a little bit.
Right.
So I get exactly what you mean.
Yeah. But, I've had a real good time with these dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like everything else, though. They don't all make good dogs.
Yeah.
But a good enough percentage of them do.
Yeah.
And there's some really, really nice ones out there. Not just mine.
Oh, yeah.
There's some really good Treeing Tennessee Brindle dogs out there right now. And this younger generation, for years we had the older guys that'd been raising these things for years, keeping us in puppies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they started dying off on us.
Oh,
and
some of us
younger guys had to take the reins, and we're doing all right. We're doing pretty good. We're producing some really nice quality dogs.
Now, are you a member of the breed association?
Yes.
Roughly, do you know how many members it has?
No, I'm sorry, but I can't answer that.
Just curious.
Well, I've been a member about 10 years from
mm-hmm.
when I got my first one. I joined.
Yeah.
And it's a good association. We have a couple good hunts every year, and some get-togethers, and we're bringing these dogs back because there at one time they wasn't many.
No, and even
there's not a lot now, but there's more. But we're bringing them back in a positive way. We're raising dogs that are good dogs.
Yeah. Now it's even hard to find too much information about them. There's not a lot out there about them. And even I get full cry. Most
mm-hmm.
cur breeds have at least an article in there. There's a couple breeds that have multiple articles in there. Different associations, just people talking about them, and I'm not saying Treeing Tennessee Brindles you never see anything, but there's not a regular monthly column about them.
There used to be, and there needs to be one now.
Mm-hmm.
Warren Nicholas, he passed away, but he lived in Oklahoma, and he had Treeing Tennessee Brindles for years. He was from the Northeast.
Okay.
And way up there, Massachusetts, I think.
Okay.
But he hunted fishers with them. And, he'd treat them fishers with them and sell the hides.
Yeah.
And, his work took him to Oklahoma, and he was without some for a long time, and then got back into it. And he was our president for a few terms, but he always kept up an article in the Full Crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Done a lot for it. But unfortunately, he's passed away since then too.
Is that you volunteering? Do I need to contact the association?
No. No, I stay pretty busy. I've got my hands full with, I've got bird dogs, I've got, hounds, these brindles, I fish, I shoot skeet, take bird hunting trips. I was vice president for several terms and all that, and I just don't have the spare time to.
I understand.
To do that.
Now, how many? What's that?
I said, just to be honest, what was you going to say?
I understand. So how many Treeing Tennessee Brindles do you have now?
Just 2.
So you're not some like big time breeder that has litters regularly by the sounds of it.
Well, I had a really nice dog, female dog here, that Brad Williams gave me. he told me, he's like, this dog cross good with stud. You take her, raise pups, all I want is female pup. I'm like, all right. That was a real good cross.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I raised 4 or 5 litters out of her, and they all done real good.
Mm-hmm.
But she was older when I got her, and then, when I first started breeding her, she'd have 7 or 8, 9 puppies, and then she had 4, and then when I went to breed her again, she come in heat. I went to breed her, she didn't have any,
Yeah.
and I took her to the vet, and they said she's done,
Mm-hmm.
And she never even come in anymore after that.
Gotcha.
But that's what I'm trying to breed. I will go a long time without raising a puppy if I don't have the right recipe.
Mm-hmm. Nope, I understand.
Now, this young female I got now, if I can get her to come in, she's of age, she's a pretty nice dog. But if I can get her bred, and I'll just retain the pups and see what they are. And if they're the right kind, then we'll go to putting them out.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want nobody to. I don't want to put an average dog in nobody's hands.
I can understand that. Now, what are for somebody that's never seen a Treeing Tennessee Brindle, can you describe your dog's size, head, body shape, anything, to give people an idea what they kind of look like?
Now, the stud dog, he's a real streamlined made dog. Got some legs under him, deep chest, thin waist, big hips. He's black with some brindle in him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're looking at him with your naked eye, you can see brindle, but a picture won't show it.
Yeah.
He just looks black, but he's actually brindle.
Mm-hmm.
But, what he looks like is a little plott.
Okay.
That's pretty much what he looks like. And a whole lot of people that I bear hunt with, though he's 7 years old, refer to him as Terrance's plott puppy.
That's funny.
And I got tired of correcting them,
Yep, that 7-year-old puppy.
Yeah, that 7-year-old plott puppy. And I've had a lot of people that's never seen one show up, to a squirrel hunt, and they'll say, that's a plott. That's a plott. And I'm like, okay, he's a registered Treeing Tennessee Brindle, but he looks like a plott, but, they just, people that's been around plotts and haven't been around these, they will assume it's a plott.
Mm-hmm. Now, they do tend to look a lot like plotts.
Yeah, everyone I ever had would pass for a little plott. Yeah, that's pretty much what they look like, but now they're smaller.
Now, do they come in any other color than brindle or black brindle?
Yeah, there'll be some of them kind of buckskin with a little brindle.
Okay.
Haven't seen a lot of them, but most of them are brindle,
mm-hmm.
and they got to have brindle in them to meet the breed standard.
Gotcha.
But I have seen some really nice buckskin that just had just a streak or two of brindle in them,
mm-hmm.
that were real nice females. Guy by the name of Norm Akers got a light colored female. She's got brindle, considerable amount of brindle, but at a distance you might pass her off as a buckskin.
Yeah.
But she's all business. She's a top notch dog.
Nice. How would you describe the way they hunt by comparison to either a hound or a feist or a cur, or other cur breeds? Similar, different.
Similar to the other cur breeds that I've hunted with. They hunt a little different than a feist, because a feist dog, most of a feist will win the squirrel,
mm-hmm.
and a feist uses his ears real good, good one, but they use their eyes a lot.
Yep.
And these Treeing Tennessee Brindles, they tree a whole lot of squirrels that a good feist don't know there.
Yeah.
Like you get to other trees, you don't see nothing. You go to shaking vines, boom, there's a squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
They use their nose a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Now some of these other cur breeds do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Use their nose. But I'm pretty sure that they use their eyes, but they use their nose more.
Yeah.
And the fast dogs that I've been around, they will tree with their nose, but they'll tree a whole lot more with their ears and eyes. That Cool Whip dog hear a squirrel cutting a nut, 150 yards, and he'd stop and listen and take and run straight to it and tree it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he just had that knack. And he also had this little trick that he'd do. He'd be, if he thought there's a squirrel somewhere, but he didn't know where it's at, he'd jump straight up and down with his back level about 5 times and be a looking. And generally, it'd make that squirrel move, and he might run 75 yards to sit down in the tree and have it, but he'd taunt them.
Caught some movement.
He's a different individual. He invented tricks, tree squirrels. That's why he's the world champion.
Yep. Now, are your Treeing Tennessee Brindles open on track, or are they silent?
Okay, on a bear, they're open.
Okay.
On a coon, they're tight mouth.
Okay.
Now, when the stud dog, whenever I started hunting him on coons, he opened a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I started him on squirrels, he parked a little on the ground, especially if he's chasing one.
Mm-hmm.
But he got out of that. He'll never bark unless he's treed squirrel hunting.
Okay.
Unless it timbers, he might bark some as he's going after, keeping up with it.
Yeah.
But the cold dog that I had, he ran. I never get squirrel hunt that dog, but I coon hunted him, bear hunted him, and he ran completely open.
Gotcha.
But now, like on a good coon track, the stud dog that I've got now, he just barks here and there on it.
Mm-hmm.
But a bear, he can't help it. He's going to bark.
Now, the other ones that you've hunted with through the years, pretty much similar to that, like open more on coon and bear, but...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I have seen a handful of them that would give quite a bit of mouth, tracking a squirrel.
Okay.
And mine used to, but he grew out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what made him do it, but he did. And when I first started coon hunting him that first year, he barked a whole lot more on track than what he does now.
I've heard of people saying that their dogs seem to learn that if they, tighten up, they can.
He wants to sneak up on stuff.
Yep.
Can't sneak up on them if he keeps making a racket. And he trees a whole lot of layup coons.
Mm-hmm.
I can be hunting, with a bunch of hounds, and good hounds. We have a good time, and every time we go, he'll slam a layup coon. Be no track, no nothing. Just a little locate and then tree. But when he does that, he's 100%. And he's got it.
Yeah. Are they like other curs? Kind of, curs kind of tend to be hotter nosed, or would you say they've got a colder nose on them?
Yeah, they got a better nose than most.
Okay.
They do that. They got a nose, and the ones that's really been hunted, they learn to use that nose really good. Mm-hmm. They've been real easy to keep straight. You don't have a whole lot of junk troubles out of them.
That's always good.
Yeah, I mean, like when this dog was young, be squirrel hunting, deer hop up in front of him, he just watch them go, rabbits, all that. I've never had him to tree a possum. He might tree one tomorrow night. I've not yet, He just hasn't been a junkie type of dog.
Yeah.
But he will run a bobcat.
Well, hey, that's not a bad thing in my book.
No, we hunt for him. If we get a fresh snow, we go looking for bobcat tracks.
Yeah. Now, do you know any of the history of the breed? I mean, kind of what went into them or any of that?
Well, I know they come from right around Cherokee, North Carolina, and that's where they originated. This is what I believe. It's what I've been told. I'll put it that way. And the Cherokee Indians had them, and that's why if you drive through Oklahoma, you'll see them dogs everywhere. They won't be registered.
Yeah.
But that's what they took when the tribe of Indians walked the Trail of Tears to Oklahoma. That's what they took. That's the dogs they had.
Yeah.
And then, people had them, but they never was registered. I don't think until like the early '60s, and then from there. But there at one time in the early '60s and '70s, there were a whole lot more of these dogs than there is now.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, just like everything, like we were talking at the beginning of this conversation about, urban sprawl and everything.
Right.
People that used to live in the country used to have working dogs. It was normal.
See, John Wick, he published several books, about hunting with hounds and stuff. And I remember, when long time ago, 35 years ago or so, whenever I got that first book he wrote, Walking with Wick, he described all the hounds and cur types. And he described them Treeing Tennessee Brindle dogs real well.
Okay.
And one thing he predicted way back then that breed should grow in popularity because of the urban sprawl.
Yep.
The size of the dog, and you can patch on them, and they handle. Getting them to handle is not a hard thing to do at all. That's one thing I like about them. I don't much like a hard-headed dog.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, most of us don't. But you'd think that would boost this breed, but there for a long time the numbers were so low that we really didn't have the exposure.
I think that's still the problem. There's not the exposure.
Well, that's one reason why I campaigned him into Super Grand, because he was always getting a little ink, it being that Full Cry magazine that he won. Like the last 18 hunts I put him in, he won 17 of them.
Wow.
And the one that he didn't win, Eddie's young dog out of Cool Whip bested him on Friday, and then we went right back out and hunted together Saturday, and my dog won that day. But
can't win them all.
That was good hunting right there. That was two really good dogs that put on a show, and we drove back. We went up there together. It was in Indiana. We come back to Tennessee happy. He won one day, I won the next. We can't complain about that.
Not at all.
Yeah, but he had a really, really good record of winning. And then, once he made Super Grand, I've not had any desire to competition. I think that I always wanted to make one of them dogs a Super Grand.
Now, have you ever run him in any night hunts?
I've just put him in some at the Treeing Tennessee Brindles Association. Put him in a couple there, and I think he's got a couple seconds. Put him in two, and I think he got a second.
Okay.
But now, see, like where I live, there's no hunts for him.
Yeah.
Night hunts for him.
Yep.
There's all kinds of squirrel hunts for him.
Okay.
But like I'll live, maybe 70 miles from Jamestown, Tennessee, where the original Mountain Curve headquarters is.
Yep.
Now the Treeing Tennessee Brindle Association, when we put on a hunt, you can bring anything you want to it.
Yeah.
If you got a feist dog, come on. If you got a Mountain Curve, come on. They don't see it that way.
Yeah.
I would go hunt their hunter, but they don't allow it.
They're a registry in of themselves, and instead of
Yeah.
like you're saying, the Treeing
Yeah,
Tennessee
and there's
Brindle
a
hunts
whole,
are NKC, aren't they?
yeah, there's sanctioned hunts that the association puts on our NKC hunts.
Yeah.
But, I'm traveling around campaigning this dog. I've been with a bunch of really good mountain curs,
Oh, I'm sure.
Uh, I wouldn't throw off on them. I've drawn out with some nice dogs.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's definitely some nice ones out there. That's for sure. That's actually kind of how I got into the hunting with dogs in general, was with mountain curs, primarily.
Right, right. And, I like a good one. I don't care what brand, breed, color. I like a good one.
Definitely.
I just like a good dog, and it don't have to be mine. I appreciate seeing somebody else's dog do a good job,
Mm-hmm.
every time, because those stud, he made it a habit of winning. If you go expecting to win, you're going to get your feelings hurt.
Yep.
I didn't expect to. He just found a way to do it
Yep.
most of the time. He just somehow, some way, get scored on a squirrel or two that he needed.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like he knew time was ticking down, and he might be just a little behind.
Some dogs have that knack.
Yeah, and I've had a bunch of really good dogs that would find a way to lose.
Yep.
Sounds
like my recent night hunt experience. My dog would be winning, and all of a sudden he'd find a reason to lose.
Right. Now, I've had hounds that way. I've had bird dogs that way. And all you got to do is keep doing what you're doing. You're in top shape,
Yeah.
But they find some way to mess it up. But now, I can honestly say, Stud never did know that trick. If he's going to do something, it's going to help him,
Yeah.
He liked getting his picture made, I guess.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good one. I mean, that's for sure. So.
Yeah, he's been a pleasure. I've always been proud to own him.
Definitely need to get some more pups on the ground out of him. Reproduce that.
That's the goal.
Because he sounds like the type of dog that'd make most people happy. That's for sure. I mean, there's certain people that are dead set in their ways and on color, breed, style. But most people, at the end of the day, they want to see game in a tree.
That's exactly right.
So he sounds like a good one for that.
Yeah, he's always been a real good dog about coming up with the game and having it, and just a tremendous tree dog. I'll send you a video of him treed when he was like 7 months old.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to see it.
I think you'll appreciate it. He's not as loud as he was, and that's because I bear hunted him all that time.
Yeah.
Like when you're coon hunting a dog, if they have to stay treed 20 minutes, that won't hurt them. 20, 30 minutes might take you to get to them. When you're squirrel hunting a dog, they have to stay treed, 10 minutes, that won't hurt them. But, we have these dogs get deep in them mountains, and it takes you 3-4 hours to get to them.
Yep.
That's hard on their mouth if they'll stand and tree all that.
Exactly.
So he don't have he's still got the tree in him. He just don't have the volume.
Yep. And just like you said, you've had some other hounds, so it's not like you're a stranger. It's not like you just got into this and you've only had these dogs for a couple of years. Even before, you mentioned you had that Grand Night Blue Tick, but you said you've had plotts and you've had all kinds of other dogs as well.
Oh yeah, I've been competition hounds since I was a teenager.
Okay. So you're definitely no stranger to this.
Bird dogs, I've run bird dogs, on the national level for 15 years and had a ball with that and had success with that. I'm just always liked competing with dogs, just, I guess a whole lot of that had to do with, being a young kid watching my dad, campaign them bird dogs.
Gotcha.
And he was fortunate enough to win, I think, 13 national championships with his dogs over the years. So,
wow, it's impressive.
you know, I
So
was
you want to do the
accustomed
same?
to good ones. I was accustomed to good ones.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that when I was a kid, come in with a hound, first thing my dad would ask me, is he good? And I'd hear the same thing. Don't cost no more to feed a good one it does one that ain't good.
Exactly.
Get a good one.
Yep.
Come in with a good one. And when I was a kid, my dad did not understand coon hunting. He did not. His bird dog man through and through. He understood all of that. But me and my buddies, we like coon hunting.
Yep.
But if I come in with one and it do some winning, he'd pet that dog. He's like me. He appreciated a good one.
Even though he didn't understand the coon hunting, he appreciated a good one.
He did not understand the principle of that.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you don't eat them. You out all hours of the night. Back when we didn't have tracking stuff.
Oh yeah.
They'd get away from us and all that. He's like, boys, I don't get it.
I don't know if I would have got it before that either.
Yeah, but when I'd come in with one that do a little winning, he'd be like, okay. Okay, I guess he's good at what he does. I'm like, yeah, he's pretty good.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time.
It's been enjoyable. It's been nice. I appreciate the opportunity.
No, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me. I learned a lot about Treeing Tennessee Brindles. Like I said, other than seeing Ronnie one time at it was actually at a plott sectional one. They had a Bear Bay event. It was an MPHA event. And he brought his dogs just kind of fellowship and show them off, I guess. And I met him there, and then I messaged him back and forth through Instagram a couple times. So I don't really have much exposure to him, and wanted to learn a little more. And he mentioned something about knowing somebody that ran some bear with him. So I was like, I want to talk to that guy. So he gave me, like I said, he's the one that gave me your number. So I definitely thank him.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he did. Well, you have a good evening.
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Tree Talking Media. And until next time, keep them talking in the timber.